happening? It was not my goal was to let that leak. Okay. They were here though. Not a problem. Who just came on? My man Dom, what's happening, friend?
What's going on, buddy?
My goal was to do a little bit more of my setup over here, but I forgot to loop the beginning, which is not a problem. It's okay. I'm here and you're here. So why not get started? We got Paul here too. So we can't keep him waiting. Can't keep him waiting.
Yeah. Good morning, Paul.
Yeah.
How's it going, Paul? How is it going with the new baby?
What is a question? I love questions. What's a question to ask a brand new dad, just like Paul? What is a good question? A good question. People be like, how are you sleeping? How is the baby sleeping? How is mom doing? Right? I think those are all the questions that we'd ask. Are there any other questions that would be beneficial to make sure that we are asking a new dad like that?
What's one thing that you didn't expect, but that you're really enjoying about having a newborn baby or your first child?
That's why I love you. It's great. Great insight.
For me at that age, I know it's the one thing that I love the most about having when we had babies was just getting to take naps with them on your chest, putting them to sleep in like the rocking chair or whatever, and then just it being totally okay for you to just pass out.
Oh, okay. Okay. That I like. It's kind of like when the world shuts down a little bit, and I'm not going COVID-y here. I'm going like when there's like a snowstorm, not that you know anything about them, but when there's like a snowstorm or like you just can't go outside. It's just not that time, right? It's like the world is quiet and you can just kind of relax. And when the baby's on you, it's like everyone, it's like acceptance. Yeah, just go ahead and rest, taking care of the baby.
Yeah. And then we have Nath. Nath, how's it going, Nath? We heard you got into a crash, and I can't believe you're here, but I'm so glad to see you, man. How are you feeling? How are you doing? It's the biggest question on my mind right now.
Yeah, I know that we are aware that Nate does a lot of good checking in on people, sends stuff from Australia. He told me he sent me something and it's so unnecessary, but
Me too.
Grateful. I mean, of course I'm going to be excited to receive something, but totally unnecessary. But thank you so much, Nate. Just know that I so appreciate that. I know we kind of popped in. We were looking at some DJ Kaufman stuff this morning too, right, Nate? I think you were there. Who's that? Is that Blaze? Oh my goodness.
Good morning. What's up, guys?
Can I be honest for a second? Blaze and I had an exchange recently, and the exchange, it was very great. It was helpful. I was so happy that we had the exchange. I wasn't sure how often after that exchange he was going to show up in the morning. So I feel like I get excited when he shows up and I'm like, oh, there he is. And then I'm like, oh, my day's made. So I think if anything, what I would say is I know how busy you are and how much you're handling. And so I appreciate your time whenever you're here.
Oh, thanks, man. It is always my goal to be here. Definitely Monday through Friday, weekends. I just got a lot going on, so I don't know how present I'll be able to be on the weekends.
Yeah.
And then, because my routine I'm trying to do is you come on, I see the alert, I share it out on X, and then I jump in, and I just love being here. I was trying to go to a park today and go down, sit on a bench, but it's raining, and the gates were closed to the park, so I couldn't bypass the gate. So, we're just making lemonade today.
That's good. Well, always, of course, I'm just so excited whenever you're showing up, just knowing how much is going on. Guys, can I try? This has been kind of my opening to try and paint a picture of certain things that are coming from the meditation today. Do you mind if I try to paint that picture, taking some things from the meditation today?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. Got it. Okay. So I want you guys to picture this for anyone who has read or not read, but you're in a rush somewhere. It's just a busy life. and you're getting your kid to school, but it's picture day. This is what was in the meditation. It was talking about a comedian in particular who I'm not really familiar with, but the picture is that you're driving somewhere, just kind of like our VeeDad blazes right now. You're driving somewhere, you're trying to get somewhere. It's not only drop off, but it's now a quality drop off in terms of it being picture day for your kid at school, and your kid is feeling unsure about themselves, and you're noticing you want to help them out, maybe do their hair a little bit, help them, kind of give them a reason to smile. But then you start to notice that their nose is dripping just a little bit, right? Their nose is dripping. You're sick, they're sick, and then you realize this isn't going to be good for the camera. So you want to help them out almost in any way you can, which is the theme of today. And so you're driving there, you're like, what am I going to do? But you have nothing. You're out of tissues. You're unsure of what's going on, but you see a Starbucks in the distance. Blaze, do you see a Starbucks in the distance?
I mean, it's like a mile down the road, but
Exactly. This is just how life goes. This is exactly what's happening in real life. And your kid is upset and not sure, and oh my gosh, their nose is dripping right now. How am I going to help them? Now, one thing that I've always seen is, have you ever seen a dad before, or even a mom, like kind of like a kid with a runny nose, just kind of like grab it with their fingers and like just like pull it out of their nose and just like flick it off on the ground?
That's my
I
move.
do that on a daily basis. So
Well, you know what I was going to say? Whenever I see a dad or a parent do that,
I can't be friends with those people.
no. Whenever I see it, I'm like, that's my person. I'm just like, that's just how it's done. But that wasn't possible with this comedian. As we're kind of talking about this, the comedian is Hassan Minhaj. I don't even know if I'm saying the name right. But Hassan has decided to go to the Starbucks that they're passing right now to fix this issue. And Hassan has no wherewithal whatsoever, forgets that there's napkins available, and grabs a straw instead and wants to help their kid out. And so Hassan takes this straw, takes it out of the package, and sticks it in the kid's nose and starts to suck out the boogers.
That just
Because, but Hassan is doing this, and I keep saying Hassan and not he or she because I have no clue if Hassan is a he or a she. But I guess it's a he because he ended up saying, "I would never do this for my wife," which is the point of this. And so you find yourself in a moment, like time freezes, and you're like, "I'm sucking boogers out of a human's face," right? And so you realize that there was no second thought to this. You just wanted to help your kid out in any way whatsoever, feel better by just decongesting them, but then also making sure that they feel confident and ready for picture day, right? You're also spending a ton of money on pictures, so you want to make sure this is just really good. And so Hassan does this, but then you know what? You as a parent, because I'm using you as a story, you just listening, all of a sudden you stop and you realize, what am I doing? This is so weird. But then you realize I wouldn't do this for anyone else but my kid. And Hassan had painted this picture too. I guess Ryan Holiday did, probably from a stand-up that Hassan had talked about. And then Hassan says, I would never do this for my wife. I wouldn't do this for any other human being than my kid. But if anything, what it's doing is it's letting us know that it's really all about like being selfless for your kids. You would do anything for your kids, and sucking snot out of their face is one thing. That's crazy to think about. Have you guys ever done something like that before?
I'm trying to think like the grossest thing that I've done for my kids.
Yeah, I think that bar is set too high. Like with a Starbucks, like they have that two-way, like valved, like filter straw suction system that my wife uses all the time.
Yeah,
But like just a straight straw, like no. But like I've certainly cleaned up after plenty of their gross messes, from vomit to diarrhea, woken up in a peed bed, like all that kind of stuff. And
oh sure, yeah.
Yeah, so it's more like that. Yeah, I don't know about directly taking some of their bodily fluids into my mouth.
Well, hold on. I don't I don't think Hassan was getting it all the way into his mouth though.
Yeah, I
don't
know,
think
but
that was the case.
there's a very great chance that he got. So I mean, a Starbucks straw isn't that long.
It is, I feel like it is definitely a high risk, low reward type of thing.
It's like siphoning some gas and not tasting gasoline. Like it doesn't.
That's crazy. Well, I mean, like, look, it could just be like giving up your sandwich, right? You were hungry, but your kid was hungry instead, and so you gave your kid their food. So I think
Oh
that is
yeah.
definitely, an example, I think, of what that kind of thing could definitely be. But I'd love to know, is there anyone else maybe on the couch right now, or anyone else over on X? And if you comment over on X, we got a few people over there looking at us right now. Let us know if that's definitely something that's been going on. But what really has been something that you really ended up giving up? Uh, did you guys listen? Did you guys read today? You guys are good
Mm-hmm.
with it?
Yep.
Nice. Okay. Can I ask about some gratitude around that?
Sure, yeah.
All right. And guys, I texted you. I said if there's too much structure, you let me know.
No, I gotta mute for a second. So, Tommy.
No, it's all good. Okay, good. Look, gratitude, I love. I love the gratitude. I like to try and think about getting this gratitude kind of centered within the reading, within the meditation for today. And so, I think stories, ridiculous stories, just like that, whether it's sharing a sandwich, sucking boogers out, or maybe just giving your kid a cover in the evening, or maybe even letting your kid kind of like keep you up at night, whatever is really the thing, right? We do kind of, yeah. We let our kid affect our life a lot of the time, but it's a good reminder of how much I think that we're just willing to do for our kids. And I think that just pulling that out and understanding, like, yeah, man, I'm so willing. I would do anything for my kids almost, right? I would do anything for my kids. And so when I'm thinking about gratitude, it's just about today. I am definitely grateful for the moments that I get to kind of feel that way. I think it's definitely necessary. I think just, whether it's ridiculous, whether it's challenging, I think it just shows depth within our relationship as a daughter or son, right? Child and parent relationship. I think is definitely huge. And so I think just having those moments and having someone to be able to almost forget about myself and just focus on them, there's something special about that. So I'm just grateful to have that moment, because I think without it, I have less perspective in the world. So that's where I want to go with that gratitude. If that's cool. But let's move over to gratitude. What's going on?
Yeah, so I think everything that came to mind after this reading was just gross and just felt weird writing on a piece of paper or even saying out loud here. I mean, like Nate said, like,
I totally
dude,
thought
look at
Blaze had a
Blade.
joint for a second.
That's too triggering, Blaze. So just leave an extra one in there in the glove compartment for the kids, just in case. Now we know.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I'm thinking of like from the child's perspective now, and if my daughter had a bunch of snot coming out of her nose, I think she'd be like, wham, 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 Kleenex. And if I said to my 8-year-old daughter, hey, I got this straw, can I suck the snot out of your nose? I think she'd like tell mom dad's being weird, or like I think
Stranger danger and run out the car.
That's a good
But from
point.
the other perspective, my boys, they're just always wiping their nose on their sleeve, and they're disgusting. A bunch of like booger boys.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Blaze, can I pressure you or anyone else, again, anyone listening? Because I love questions. I love the feedback. I love kind of like taking a moment to just kind of reflect on certain things. But if you did take a moment and you thought about something you've done for your kids, I know we already tried this. I want you to try again now. What have you done for your kids that surprised you? What's something that you've done? You're like, wow, I didn't think I'd be doing that as a parent, or something that you didn't realize that you'd just be doing for a human being. And I think that this is a better question. What does it tell you about how much they mean to you, or how much it means for you to be a dad? Is that a heavy question?
I mean, I just think about, to me, because I think for this example, it's talking a lot about like, what are the disgusting things that you've done for your kid that you want to do for somebody else? And I always go back to like, I mean, I'm a registered nurse, so like I've cleaned lots of people's butts that weren't like my blood relatives, where I think, the normal populace probably hasn't and probably never will clean someone else's butt that isn't, like blood related, or they might never do it at all. So, but then I think about where do I sacrifice a lot for my kids? And it's not so much the disgusting stuff, but it's probably just like, I always go back to time. Like I'm in my perspective, I put them before myself a lot. And I think some people might disagree with that, but then I just always go back to like, I only get them for 18 years and then that's it. You can figure it out after. Just kidding. I'm still gonna be your parent after that. If we're looking back on this 10 years later. But I just go back to time. I do gross things for them all the time. Like they just lick a lot of ketchup and it's disgusting. And so I'm really I'm trying to coach the boys on not licking up ketchup. So
You okay, Ryan?
we just broke.
So like one thing that it's just like ketchup is like the one thing in the world that like I don't get grossed out easily, but like the one I hate ketchup because like I think it's like the bane of like the existence of like teaching someone how to eat or like tasting food because it just covers all tastes whatsoever, and then when it gets on your hands it's like forever there even if you wash it. And so it's like the one thing, like if I smell it, I hate it and it ruins my day. But that's on me. That's not ketchup's fault. I'll just take accountability for it.
I try to go out of my way to get the ketchup that does not have high fructose corn syrup. And then the other thing that I wanted to say was,
hey Blaze, how long has your blinker been on?
He's distracted.
Heather?
Oh man.
Turn now, so now I have to turn my blinker back on. I'm really sorry.
He's doing it to bother me.
Well, I just think you're gonna have this like strong reaction to ketchup.
I didn't either. I think I just because like there was just a lot of ketchup used recently, and I got over everything. And okay, anyway, high fructose corn syrup, ketchup. You try to get the one. Okay, got it. Okay, so I think if we get a little bit deeper into the reading itself, one thing that hit home a little bit, and this is always a good reminder for me. This is also where a lot of guilt and shame pops in. I know everyone's not supposed to feel guilt and shame, but we do, right? But I think that one of the themes was the fact that like this unconditional love, what does it come from? Like, is it just this like this just connection we don't really think about? Because I'll tell you where the main thought is. Tell me if you guys agree with this. I think it's the fact that like kids didn't choose to be here. Kids didn't choose to be born. Kids didn't choose to have us as parents. Kids didn't choose to live where we decided they live. We didn't decide, or they didn't choose the school system. Like you can go on and on, right? And so they just didn't choose us. They didn't choose us. They didn't choose this world. They were just kind of forced into it a little bit, right? And so I think that really it's the idea that like they're not really their own person because they're so part of us, if that makes sense, especially when they're younger, I would say.
I don't want to be juvenile. It's just I can't get over this reaction that you had to catch up. And so I'm trying to tie it to what you're talking about with ketchup, but I don't want to interrupt your thought process because I want to ask you some questions about would you or would you not related to ketchup and your kids, but I want you to finish. You were on a roll, so keep going.
Welcome to the part of the morning where we dive deep into ketchup. Please ask away.
Okay, so did you know that there's a supervillain in Batman that I think he's called the Condiment King? I can't remember 100%, but his supervillain power is he sprays people with ketchup and mustard. Did you know that?
Oh my goodness, look at him.
So,
dude, if anyone can, go search. Okay, I'm with you.
So
keep going.
If anyone's on X right now, if you could blow up Ryan Food is Fuel stream with
weird images of ketchup.
No, the Condiment King, but that too. So, but anyways, now I'm thinking like, what if Ryan Turner, you went into McDonald's to get maybe some of those doodle cups, and suddenly all the doors close, and like the guy from Saw comes out, and then there's like this pool of ketchup. You have to dive in that ketchup to get the keys to save your daughter's life. I'm really stretching out right here. Could you do it?
I could. Yeah, of course I can.
Okay, all right.
Except this is the thing. I would ask them not to use ketchup. We can, let's fight, but can we just make sure you don't use ketchup? I think that's reasonable.
So you'd want them to empty out the pool and fill it with like mustard.
No, I feel as if when you are in a fight with someone, you can set some ground rules. And so if I walk in there, I'm locked and I'm able to like, wait. Just no ketchup. And if it was only mustard, then maybe I would.
Have you seen any of the Saw movies?
The first one.
Okay. This isn't like an A-B conversation. There's like videos and tapes.
Yeah, you've been kidnapped.
Now, out and he's like, oh, hey, I'm designing these like things for you to get through to survive. He's not like inquiring like, oh, do you think this is too scary or not?
No, actually, you didn't know this, but the part that the people in Saw missed is they didn't ask the guy in the middle of the room for help.
Okay,
all they had to do was ask for help.
Can you
None
name?
of them tried that, Blaze.
Can you name? Can you name? Do you know what his name
Blaze
was?
would have died
in the Saw movies.
No, I don't.
Okay, it was Jigsaw. So I'm just gonna move on. I'm sorry, I took us off the highway. We got off an exit that we didn't know we were gonna go.
Right. Ryan started the show with like, I want to create structure. Halfway through, Blaze is like that.
So let's turn the car around. I'm coming back on. I'm sitting back, and I'm gonna take it back to what Ryan's original question was like, I think the grossest thing as a parent that I've had to deal with different poop emergencies, and I know there's some times the past like year or so where there's been some poop issues, and just like, you know, you're on a trip and then there's poop someplace and you have to deal with it, and I think that's really hard. So that's the place where my mind went with that. I'm not sucking boogers out of people's noses. I've never had to suck the venom out of someone's butt cheeks or anything like that. So
that's a great one. But you know what? I think that a bigger part of what it is today, whether you're fighting the condiment king because you got to like protect your kid, or you're wiping butts, or you're sucking snot, right? I think that there is going to be a point where that's just not a thing anymore. Are you going to miss it? Are you going to miss wiping butts?
No.
I don't wipe butts anymore, really. I don't really miss it. So I guess the heartwarming thing is like, I'm gonna miss wiping their little butts. Oh, it's so great. I don't really miss it. I will miss hugs and snuggles.
I think it's everything. I think it's everything. I think you miss everything else about them from that age, like when it was fun and comfortable to carry them around, like at the wiping butt stage, but not the wiping of the butts and the cleaning up the messes and always worrying every time you know, in the potty training phase, always worrying every time you look in their underwear. None of that part is fun, but everything else, like I really do miss like taking a nap with my kid on my chest.
The 3-year-old came over home last night, asleep in the car, and he's just exhausted with like the time change and school and stuff, and he just like slept on my chest for like an hour, and it was just like,
yeah,
it's few and far between, so you got to get it in when you can.
Truth. Hard moments, messy moments, gross moments, we're not going to miss them, apparently. That's okay.
Ryan, have your kids ever drawn all over your wall with a permanent marker?
Not mine, but my brother's wall.
But he's an artist, so he liked it.
You went to your brother's house, your kids took Sharpies, drew all over the wall, you put regular gas in his diesel truck, and left.
Oh, God. Forgot about that.
I'm sorry.
Blaze is
never
starting to rethink his invite, Ryan.
I never felt so dumb. No, that was probably one of them. No, you know what it was? Anyway, yes, I felt really bad about doing that, and then my kid wrote all over his wall, and his response was, "It's okay. It's near my art studio. I'll just make it part of the art, basically."
Oh, beautiful. That's beautiful.
Oh shit! Apparently the couch too.
Yeah.
Happy day after your birthday, Jason.
It was a big day. Jason, did you get a haircut yesterday? We need to know. Inquiring minds definitely want to know. All right, we're coming up to the top of the hour right now. You guys have any last thoughts at all? A little call to action, I think, is going to be a good thing just to bring up. But any last thoughts right now in this middle of the week?
Well, my first thought is for Starbucks, if I get almond milk in my coffee, don't fill it up so much that when I put it to my mouth, it spills all over me. So that's my first thought. But my second thought is, even though how gross some of these things are that we do for our kids, we'll never get those moments back, and they make great stories. Or in this comedian's case, it's probably like, where'd my Starbucks straw go? What a great story to tell.
What if it's in like a really gross spot? Are you still going to use it? It's like under your foot. Are you still going to use the straw?
I literally just got it for the point of this discussion.
Can you use it anyway?
For not drinking.
No, I want you to end this stream with you drinking your coffee out of the straw. You got it. We can't be wasting straws. Didn't you see that video of the turtle that somehow changed the whole world and everyone wanted to have biodegradable straws? But yet the whole healthcare industry, if you've not worked in healthcare and you're concerned about plastic, like just work in a hospital for a day and you'll be like, oh wow, straws aren't the problem.
Scuba Steve's with us.
Yeah,
drink the coffee.
I was drinking.
Drink the coffee. I want to see that straw go from a green to a darker green. I want to see that coffee go through the straw.
Ryan, do you like toothbrushes in the shower? Scuba wants to know.
It's not. I think I like the feeling of getting into the shower after I've brushed my teeth. It feels like my insides are done, and now my outside has to get clean. So I wouldn't do it in the shower.
I can't do that because I routinely just drink a beer in the shower. So it doesn't taste good while you're brushing your teeth.
It's a good one to break down.
Can
you? Oh, go ahead. What's up?
I just want to say my wife keeps saying I'm eating too many fruits and vegetables, but I share that. But I'm
Wait, hold on. Wait. But why? What are your symptoms that would tell her you're eating too many fruits and vegetables?
Blaze is eating too much fruit and vegetables, as evidenced by every time I buy fruits and vegetables, they are now gone within the day, which is not within his normal range of dieting. So we're adapting. But I just wanted to go back to Dom and say I enjoy a shower beer as well. Did you just
give us a soap note?
Huh? Yeah.
Did you just give us a soap note?
People don't know. People don't write those anymore. Do you know that?
Is there another acronym or another note taking?
I mean, they still write them, but they have shortcuts. They have like dot phrases and stuff like that. So they don't have to be like Ryan has a fear of ketchup as evidenced by his volatile reaction when co-host brought up ketchup.
I hated writing soap notes in the hospital. It's the thing that I would overthink all the time. And then doctors wouldn't even look at them anyway, so it's dumb.
Yeah.
All right, shower beers. What was his name? Condiment King? Is that who that was?
I gotta double check. It's. I want to say Condiment King, but I don't want to tell you the wrong thing.
I posted a picture on X, so it's there.
Nate says I'm pooping more. I could be, but I'm also not keeping a bowel diary.
Hey, and the food pyramid is not a thing. It's not a thing anymore. It's gone. It's been gone since like the 80s or the early 90s, I think is what. We don't even use it. It's gone. All right. Top of the hour. We love you guys. Here, just one thing. I was thinking about some sort of call to actions. What I want. It's what I want. Also, if you're in our group chat, go ask the questions that I'm posting from those amazing cards that are in there. It's a great way to start conversations with your kiddos. But I think what I want you to do is I want you to think about any moments this week where maybe you did go out of your way for your kids. Because you're going out of your way for your kids, whether you think it's large or small, gross or not, something's happening, right? But whether it's small, whether it's large, I'd love for you just to reflect on that if that's possible. I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to talk about it. Love to bring it on. Shows how good of a dad and good mom, whatever you are, right? But if you're willing to share with us, please do. I think it'd be really cool because I want to hear those stories. So think about those moments, share them, be grateful for them, because people who don't have kids, they don't get those. I think that it creates the relationship and the depth. That is my final thought.
Mugs with coffee, hearts with gratitude. Love you guys. I hope everybody has the best day.
See you guys.
See you, dudes.